Today on Redneck Rescue, our situation is we've got a side-by-side that's 6 miles in the backcountry that rolled 7 times. Everybody's okay, it's the next day, and we're going in to get it out. Let's go check it out. So this is our scene. We had 2 friends climbing up this hill. It's pretty steep. Cameras never do it justice. We were climbing up, went to turn around, ended up rolling from 300 feet up there, rolled about 7 or 8 times all the way down through the bushes right down here. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. He had 4-point harnesses in there, kept the arms in, everybody was okay. So now we're hooked up and we're gonna go ahead and pull it out. So we got the winch set up over here off this tree, off a battery, up through the snatch block, back down to the unit to pull the front end over and towards me. We've got a cradle between this tree, 2 rhino straps over to this big tree, so that when we pull, this is triangulated so the snatch block doesn't move. It creates a nice stable point of pull. We've got the ratchet strap as a safety strap to the top of the roll cage as a just in case. Then we've got a rhino strap in half around this tree as a tree saver with 2,500 pound winch to the front end. So as we winch this over, we can hold this up and then release it down the hill. My plan is we're gonna get in a straight line here and assess whether we're going straight down to the road below or holding it on from the top and getting it straight across back to the trail. So let's see if we can get this camera angle here and put this into perspective. So that is about level. So there's our side-by-side. These trees caught them and held them from rolling further. Otherwise, it was quite a bit further down the way. They did a great job here. They went through and anchored it off so it couldn't go any further. The only apparent damage, it actually held up very well. Windshield's still in it. We just had 1 tire go flat, looking like it just got pushed off the bead. It's probably fine. 1 LED whip got bent, but otherwise we're looking pretty good. That front tire is about 6 feet higher than this rear tire. Now that it's dropped down a little bit, we're pretty good. Yeah. Go ahead and crank the tires. So as we pull up and over, it comes over that log. We'll get it realigned away from this tree.
Here we're just going through and using each winch a little bit at a time, and it just bumps it along and over each obstacle. Little by little, we gain ground and get it away from that tree.
All right, now we're gonna go ahead and hook to the back end, pull the back end over a little bit, and go from there. So now we're hooked to the back end. We're going to pull the back end away from the tree, get it to where we can drop backwards a little bit. Then we're going to winch it up the hill back onto the trail and then back down. As you can see, we're sitting at a way better angle. No longer concerned about rolling. It's my cameraman. Yeah, like that. So I'm gonna leave the tires turned towards me, so as I pull the back end and winch up, it's gonna crab walk towards me.
I'm pulling the back end over to clear this bush that my camera is in. And I'll go through and clear some of the debris out of behind the vehicle so that we can winch it backwards down the hill.
Here, Redneck Rescue, we call that moving in a positive direction.
As I chose my anchor points, I chose solid points of the frame, not things that were bolted to it. And then also used the axle strap to make sure it wasn't on anything sharp.
Oh, it did break the frame for your door, but that's a separate frame piece.
If that's all the damage I got, it's significant. I'm happy.
No, I'm really impressed, I gotta say.
The move now is to take both winch remotes into the cab and let out each one little by little and ease my way right on back while holding in a direction that I want to roll. We'll go ahead and steer it, readjust some safety straps, and just work our way back. We'll drop it down into the hole and then pull it upward in the other direction.
Put the ratchet strap in here to hold this stable, but to be able to adjust the angle of the pole.
How long do batteries last on it?
The winch?
Yeah,
A decent while, but I also have jumper cables so I can hook it to the unit.
I saw that.
Do you mind if I just run the bush over? And the next rigging.
This part's a little more interesting. As we come up onto the road, it's going to want to lead to that outside where that flat tire is. So we've got the smaller winch on the uphill side hooked to the top of the cage as an anti-roll device. So as I winch forward, I'll also tension the winch at the top of the cage to make sure that I stay nice and stable and do not roll. As you watch the tires, just leave the ground. Now let's go ahead and use the winch to release myself backwards, take a little bit of a turn, readjust, and try to get centered within the road.
Notice that bead looks like it.
Ooh, I think I got a little air compressor.
Should we
Come
do
close.
it now?
So we made it up, back onto the road a bit. The inner bead was actually still on, and when we pulled on the trail, it was just one section of the outer bead that wasn't. So we went ahead and got the pump out. It just popped on, so we don't have to change the tire. I'm gonna hook up the winch to the back end, pull the back end over. We'll be in the road, and then I'll just lower it right down to where we need to be.
We took out one 30-foot strap and now have just a single run up to the big tree, to the snatch block, down and around the tire, to the back of the side-by-side.
And from here, just straight on back.
This hill is steep, that's why we're still going to go ahead and winch it backwards down. Now we're back to doing a little bit on each winch and just release it right on back and ease my way right down the hill. Now that we're far enough down the hill, the angle on the winch line isn't too much. So we're going to go ahead and ditch the other winch line and just go for one for the last little bit. rolling in for the win.
There you go.
We didn't see any indication, any oil leaks or anything
No,
like that.
I don't think so. And the fact that you shut it off and it didn't stop upside down, so oil didn't go to cylinders.
Right.
Like, I would say you're probably just fine. So, very impressed with the Razor.
I am too.
It held up very well. There is no damage to the roll cage. All the suspension is straight. We're able to pop the bead back on and inflate the tire. Nothing more than some scratches and some decals. The mirrors just folded in like they were supposed to. Looking good. This side had a little scuff right here, not bad. The only thing that actually broke was the door frame. Piece of frame, but it's its own piece, so it can be replaced. He had 4-point harnesses in it. And heads always bleed. Yeah. Everybody was okay though, nothing more than some cuts and scratches.
We're good. A little sore on the shoulder strap.
So this is the tree that it rolled over and down this pitch. This is where we turned around. He was going up this, started spinning, went to back down, make a J-turn. Once the tire dropped off right there, it started to roll. You can see this tree's at an angle. It rolled off of that, through there, and was all the way down below. Not that big tree, but that one is the one it was sitting on. Rolled 7 times. So from right up here, rolled down. This is kind of the corner. This is where it started to go off into the bushes. These bushes probably helped slow it down a little bit. You can see how they're all smashed down. Impacts and brakes on this stuff. And ended up right against that tree.
So after looking it over, there was zero concern. It fired right up, and it's going to drive itself right on out.
And the horse flies were rough. Look at that. This trail's a good one. It's rocky, it's narrow. Gotta say, this is one of the products that I definitely recommend the most to anyone. The Rhino ratchet strap. Push one button, extends out. When you need to adjust it to length or retract it, you just push the button and pull. Ratchets, has no end. You can just keep ratcheting. When you're done and want to release, one button, easy. If you enjoyed today's episode of Redneck Rescue, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. We got other rescues coming down the line. Have fun out there.